Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Daniel.
Cool. Okay, so let's begin. Let me put my screen into the full screen mode. Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Daniel Cheng from Taiwan. I'm the founder and the president of RTM Association. RTM stands for Redefine Tourism Mixer. I am the person in charge of today's event's topic, that is the NextT Accelerating program, and also your host for today. So welcome to the second announcement event of the NextT Accelerator first batch. Thank you very much for joining us. So first of all, here's a brief introduction of myself and my own organization, RTM, that's been pouring efforts into travel innovation and education, advocating and promotions in Taiwan for the past 8 years. So for me, I used to work in Hong Kong MICE industry, travel agency in Taipei, and Hawaii Tourism Authority, having 12-year experiences in cross-border travel marketing, B2B partnership management, event curating, media, and PR. And for RTM, as you can see from the screen, we used to do a lot of events. This is an industrial community of travel startups based in Taipei, devoting to industry knowledge education and bridging global partnerships among startup companies. So after founding up RTM in 2014, I'm one of the advocates for technology and cultural innovation in Taiwan travel industry. And we aim at building up an RTM school in the long term. So as you can see, there are some keywords standing for what RTM have been, doing for the past 8 years. We are doing incubation. We are doing the internet technology innovation promotions, and also we reach out to some local communities for cultural and sustainable tourism products. So throughout all these incubating, programs, in the past, we use Mandarin and English mentorship plans and becoming a great talent pool for Asian travel enterprises. You can see there are some key numbers about our achievements of the past years, and our roles and services are actually comprised of, some marketing, consulting, event curating, etc. And we have this vision to be the Asia Travel Knowledge Education Center and Talent Pool. So from this screen, you can see this is the international forum we organized in 2019, December. That is a beautiful time for travel industry. The whole world has, picked up its numbers in consumers and the revenues, and everybody seems very promising, in coming future. But not long after that, we, as everybody knows, we faced the COVID-19 and its devastation of our industry. But because of this devastation, we also are given opportunities, to rethink about our structure, to rethink about all these local and global brands, partners, in our connections, and think about how we can reunite, all these powers and all these partners in our network, and to do something different, especially during the time that we cannot do the same works like what we used to do in the past. So I reconnected with LionTravel, the leading travel company in Taiwan, and that's also where I was, used to work for 4 years. LionTravel gets even stronger after COVID-19 because it has a different mindset, has a different perspectives toward the industry. The leader of Lion Group invested, into different parts of the industry, and also it reached out of its own domain and tried to build up the new partnership with different organizations, and especially those companies and those entrepreneurs with great minds and great visions. So luckily, I'm one of them. So starting from this year, we launched NextT Accelerator program in a joint venture structure with LionTravel. So starting from July, so that's very new, very latest, we had this NextT Accelerating program, started to be promoted in not only Taiwan, but in a regional scale, and start recruiting our first batch of startup teams. So let me elaborate a bit about our brand. So next means next generation, new ideas, opportunities, and there is a triangle. That's the symbol for direction for future and leadership for industry. And we have T, stands for travel, technology, talent, thoughts, trends, and Taiwan. That's the first capital. So we use NextT, to be the prefix of all these good words, keywords, and that can really showcase our passion for the future. Our mission is turning point, in this turning point of post-pandemic era. We want to build up an international standard incubation facility through NextT team, and to establish overseas business connections widely and apply technology to cultivate in-depth traveling, life culture, regional revitalization group. So in the industrial downturn due to pandemic impact, let's polish Taiwan's soft power brand, and along with the entrepreneurs in the world, head for post-pandemic market recovery. For the structure, as you can see, of this company, it's a new company. It's ventured by me representing RTM and LionTravel collectively. So RTM Group will be responsible for operation, together, of course, with our network in startup entrepreneurs, our know-how toward the industry, knowledge, education, and all the networks and all the operation things will be on my side, and also the resources will come from Lion's side. So the startups we incubated will be invested by Lion Venture Capital in the end, which is founded by LionTravel part. This is very important. We have different categories for startups that we are now recruiting. So what kind of startups that we are looking for? There are 3 different types. First is tech and innovation. So for any softwares or hardwares that optimize the business model of dining, accommodation, entertainment, shopping, and transportation during traveling, could be either online or offline, could be a platform or sharing economy, could be the new paradigm after pandemic. All these are in a category of tech and innovation. Secondly, that is cultural experience combined with the topic placemaking. Okay, so placemaking means we are doing something great, in a corner of the countryside of the community in Taiwan or in any part of the world, and we are doing great to help the economy and to help the culture sustainability, in a place. We call it placemaking. Okay, and so focusing on sustainability or in-depth culture, no matter you are holding a themed travel, local educational workshops, walking tour, craft DIY, farming experiences, outdoor activities, ceremonial events, or special form of dining, you are all more than welcome. And the third category is called lifestyle and new solution. As long as it's an innovative business model to propose a new solution for visual, dining, body and mind, space, and other type of projects, they are all belong to lifestyle new solution. So this category is more, I would say, symbolic. It symbolizes our, determination to really go out of travel domain and reach out to different sectors of the industry and try to see if we can build up that kind of, merged soft power connection with, different minds, different entrepreneurs to make something new, to travel industry as our core. Lastly, there is a very interesting group. So besides individuals, groups and organizations less than 5 years to join our accelerator as startup, we have this, more experienced, more senior, maybe not older, but more qualifications, as one of the categories that we want to recruit. We call it mentors. Okay, so in other words, if you've got plentiful experiences of starting up and running a business, whether you are individuals, groups, or organizations, you are also welcome to join us. And the reason we call it mentor is because we want to build up a new, fresh community for entrepreneurs. But we believe that this is a community where people can learn from each other. So it's not only the startups joining accelerating program and looking for resources and assistance from our side and LionTravel side, but also they can, refer to each other in terms of connections, experiences, or any kind of help that people can, really help out each other in this network. So mentors, more experienced ones, you may be having that kind of responsibility, to try to bring up more junior ones. But also for the mentors, for this group, you will have the priority to be evaluated in terms of the capital investments, and also you may more easily, access to the resources that we have on hand. So anyway, in the first batch, we want to include as many as possible entrepreneurs and startup companies to join us, because we believe that the power of a community, could be the most influential, not only the power of the capital side or the accelerator part. Talking about the program, okay, so now we are in a recruitment period, and actually it's approaching the deadline of the application. August 28th will be due day, for application. Well, it's not too hard. You fill out a form, you film a very simple but clear 3 minutes introduction of your presentation, including yourself and the PowerPoint, maybe on the screen, maybe on your laptop, in the same video. Then you can submit this application to us, and then we are gonna announce the selected list in 2nd of September. And after that, we are going to phase 1. So, well, it's just it's kind of rushed, but it's not too hard. So starting from August 1st, we have been releasing this news. And then after selection, when we enter the phase 1, we are going to hold 6 different community learning events in both September and October. And then finally, we end up with a demo day in November 4th. Okay, so all these dates are stated in our official website. You can refer to the information there. And then from the November onwards, we are entering phase 2. So in phase 2, it will be a serious period, which means, after all these community networking events and, showcasing events in the first phase, we're going to seriously evaluate each one of the startups, and we are going to, really get into those mentoring, those cooperation projects and any kind of possibilities that Accelerator and LionTravel would be of any kind of help for startup companies in phase 2. So we call it growth period. Okay, growth period. After that comes to the investment period, and then all these first batch selected teams will become our alumni. And then in the next year, we very likely will organize the 2nd accelerating program, maybe starting from February or March. So let's look forward to that. So we have some criteria for choosing the first batch startup teams. First one is business model, and then comes business potential, and then team condition, team quality. And there is one thing that's very meaningful, very important, which is social mission. So social responsibility will be one of the key standards for evaluation in this accelerator. So you will be asked not just to do well in business, but also to give back to the society. The reason we set up this criteria is because after COVID-19, of course, business is the most important thing to help us sustain. But on the other side, we also, want to tell our entrepreneurs, not only because we are succeeding in our business, would be appreciated and would be given the resources, but also when we can help the whole society, the whole people, and the stakeholders around us to grow together with us. That's more meaningful and that's more sustainable in the whole environment. Okay, so also we want to emphasize something more. This is a unique accelerator, not only because we've got LionTravel as our resource in the industry, so that you have the platform, you have the channels, you have the products and sales, marketing, etc. Domain, to implement your ideas, but also because we provide practical opportunities of all these, distribution and market chances, and up to 100 million investment funds. So this is also a place that gathers people with passion. We believe that technologies are made for the happiness in real world, and travel and life are fundamentally international. So we're doing business, basically an international business all around the world, okay? And we are trying to build an international standard platform. We told our entrepreneurs to work hard and to live well, because when you live well with a strict attitude, that's how we can build up the best traveling products. Because you believe in good life, so your customers will believe in good life too. And very importantly, not only do we talk about traveling, we also discuss more on local culture and lifestyle. So we want to reach out. We want to go out of this travel domain and try to, have that kind of synergy, that kind of fusion in not only business, but ideas. And we build up the talent pool. So we provide spaces for those who are looking for a better world, because we committed ourselves to a softer but more powerful future. Okay, so that's basically the first part of my presentation, introducing our accelerating program. Welcome to join NextT Travel Startup Accelerator. Okay, I use 20 minutes to finish my first part. Later on, will be followed by Ryan Shen, the Chief Investment Officer from Lion Group. After Ryan's sharing, there comes the last part of our event today. I'm gonna talk about some startup and entrepreneurship, trends, not only in Taiwan, but also the global wise. Okay, so Ryan, now it's your turn. Are you ready for that?
Yeah. Hi, Daniel. Hello, everyone. I'm Ryan. So how much time do I have?
Okay, great. So you can just directly share the screen, and the whole session will be moving on to your side. Okay.
Okay, sure. So how much time do I have for this part?
20 and 25 minutes.
All right. So that's a long time. But I feel like Daniel has done a pretty good introduction of NextT. I would really like to just keep my presentation really simple. So I'll stay on this page, and later I'll be talking about the investment strategy about LionTravel and the connection between LionTravel and the NextT. So this is about me. I used to be a venture capitalist. I focus in mobile internet investment, and I had a startup which done a mobile video collaboration before. So I joined Lion about 2019. So I've been helping Lion for their investment and strategy ever since. So to put it really simple ways, right now, when it comes to the technology investment of LionTravel, that's mostly where I help the group. Okay, that's about me. I'm just a guy who helped the Lion Group to do the investment. Okay, so I will just quickly do an introduction about Lion Group and our investment strategy. But since I would like to keep this not as a boring like presentation. So if you have any problem, you feel free to just putting your question on the chat screen. So I can just probably stop and answer your question. So feel free. All right. So Lion Group introduction. All right. Now, three numbers about Lion Group. First, Lion Group is about before COVID, it's about 1 billion USD as an annual revenue every year. And Lion Group serves about 2 million tourists to travel around the world every year. And since LionTravel is right now is still the #1 listed travel company in Taiwan, and the market cap about Lion Capital is about 200 million USD. Well, give or take, it's around 200 million USD. So, and the stock price about LionTravel is kind of stable, even within COVID period. So it's just a stable stock price. So we have a pretty good capital market connection and relationship. All right, so that's a three major number about LionTravel. So just everyone can just put that in mind. So basically, it's a really stable company. It's already IPO and listed, and it has a really rich cash flow. Actually, well, objectively speaking, LionTravel is the biggest winner after SARS. So from 2000 to 2010, it just built up into a big IPO company. And after that, LionTravel just has been making money every year. So we accumulated a lot of cash. So even with COVID, we're still really healthy in finance, and we still have enough capital, and we have really good capital market relationship, so we can still do a lot of investment. It doesn't matter if it's in hotels or in, like recently we invested $7 million into Asia.io, which is an OTA in Taiwan. So it's a really stable big IPO company. Just put that in mind. So within LionTravel, we have a strong ecosystem. The company you see here is all within the ecosystem with LionTravel. We actually kind of 100% own all these companies. So we just trying to create a brand synergy. All right. So you can see in the, let me just put out this laser beacon here. All right. So you can look at the here LionTravel. That's the core, and we have FunTrip, which is electronic ticket service. Lion Technology is a tech company which contains about 160 engineers. It takes about all the technology system about all these companies. Lion Express is a company we bought a lot of buses. I think we bought about 70 big buses, and all over the world, in Taiwan and in North America and even in Europe, we have a lot of buses and small vans. And Long Bobby Investment is an investment company which invests in the real asset. And JW Trading is an international marketing company who takes a lot of money from the government. So it's an integrated marketing company. Same thing here, JW Marketing. And UniTravel is franchise system, which we cooperate with the other travel agencies in Taiwan and all over the world. Sing Media is a media company. And Ghana Restaurant, it's a restaurant chain store concept which already have 5 different restaurants in Taiwan. They serve pretty good American style food. So if you're in Taipei, if you're in Taipei, we have free restaurant over there. Just remember to try it. I love it pretty much. And Simfly is a company who connected with the cheap flight, so you can buy a nice cheap airplane tickets. Diversis Capital is a private equity based in Los Angeles, which is where I am right now. Oh, by the way, right now in Los Angeles it's 11:27 at night. So we are a company which will push you to work 24 hours a day. So that's one thing about LionTravel. But not to everyone. I'm the
No,
poor
thank you
guy
very
here.
much. Yeah.
All right. So at this page, you can see a lot of words, but just remember, there's only one concept I want to share with you, is that we have a theory which we want to maximize, we want to optimize the experience and maximize the value. So if you remember, we used to have a word called TQM, total quality control, for the manufacturing, right? So right now here, with the three element as content, moving field, and fixed field, we're trying to do the TEM, called TEM. So it's called a total experience management, okay? So in this theory, we try to manage the experience within a whole travel process. So when you see something on internet, could be a nice video or story or blog, and then you decided to move to buy a plane ticket, to buy airplane ticket, and then you actually enjoy the experience in the field. So the total experience management, it means we want to optimize the whole experience within the travel process, and we want to maximize the value. The value means money. So we want to maximize the revenue side by optimizing the experience. So just keep that in mind. This could be a little bit complicated, but just TEM, I think total experience management is what the theory is all about. All right, so let's talk about investment. Okay, so for the next 10 years, three things is going to happen. I think it's going to change the world, but that's the easy saying. But if we put into the more technical words, is three trends is going to lead to a paradigm shift. And every time when a paradigm shift, there's going to be a deal shift. So imagine this: before internet, everybody is using their telephone calls to call to travel agencies to arrange their travel, right? But right now, everybody's using internet. So the paradigm shift, and all the deals, most of the deals shift from telephone calls into your smartphone, or into your computer and into your smartphone. So every time when the paradigm shift, all the deals will shift to there. That means the money goes with the deals. So whenever you're prepared for the new paradigm shift, you get the money. And let me just give a really quick example. So after 2010, everybody starts to use smartphone, right? That's called a mobile internet. So within the mobile internet, you can see there's a lot of new startup rising up, like maybe Klook. They have a lot of tickets and experience on their platform, and maybe like KKday in Taiwan. So they also have a pretty nice new traffic and a lot of deals on their app, right? So they have go with the paradigm shift and they have obtained enough of the deals, in which way they obtained a lot of money. So the capital market also recognize that and invest in that. So every time with the paradigm shift, the deal shift. And three things are going to happen in the future. I'm just going to keep it really simple. Okay, mobile internet paradigm shift is still happening. It's still happening right now. There's still a lot of people that haven't been buying travel product through their smartphone. Okay, you might be surprised, but that's the truth. So the paradigm shift of mobile internet is still happening, and the paradigm shift of AI is about to happen. Just think about this. Every time when you open YouTube or Netflix, everyone is seeing different content. Everyone is seeing different personalized content. So whenever you find two guys to open Netflix, you will see different content. That is called the algorithm-driven personalized service within videos, right? So it's already been done in Facebook, in YouTube, in Netflix. But within all the travel service all around the world, nobody has done that before. It's not happened yet. It's called personalized travel service. Right now in the travel service, you have to type in your demand, you have to search for the product you need, but the all service is not really personalized. So that is going to happen in the future. It's going to become algorithm driven personalized service. It has not happened yet, but it's going to happen pretty soon. So that's the first. Second is a small service, tech enabled, or you may say tech empowered. Just imagine this: within your smartphone, there are millions of apps, right? So before, maybe 10 years ago, if you want to design a software, you have to join a really big company, and you have to spend a lot of money, and you have to design a really big software in order to launch the service. But right now, you can be an individual and you can design an app. And if your app is good, people wants to use it, you can start your own business. The entry barrier of starting a small business is dropping, because there's a lot of service that enable small business to rise up. You can do an online business, you can do an app, you can even do like a personal video editor. You can all do that online. So right now it's become more and more simple to start a small business. And same thing is going to happen in the travel business. Before, maybe 20 years ago, only travel agencies can be arranging a travel service. But in the future, I believe every individual will be able to provide travel service to the customers. So that's number two, small service, tech enabled. And number three, of course, everybody knows blockchain, Web3, tokenomics, NFT. All right, I would just give a really simple conclusion that I have. Right now, we are at the stage that bubble burst. But all the blockchain and Web3 concept, it is not over. It is just trying to build up new momentums right now. I think within 2022 and maybe even 2023, most of the trash company is gonna die. Because there's a lot of fraud in NFT. That is true. But just imagine we are at 2000 internet bubble. Internet bubble does not stop internet. It only prepare internet for further growth. And right now we are at the bubble burst period. So a lot of bad company is going to die, but blockchain Web3 is not going to stop. We will see a really big growth until 2030. Right now, there's only about 50 million people using virtual currencies. Just imagine when we hit 2030, there will be 1 billion people using virtual currency. That is going to be a huge paradigm shift. A lot of people is gonna, in the future. Right now, you're using new Taiwanese dollar or US dollar to buy travel service. I guarantee you, within 2030, a lot of people is going to buy travel service with some currency, but not as traditional fiat currency. And that's my conclusion towards that. So three major trends that is going to cause a paradigm shift, which will cause a deal shift, and that's going to change the world. All right, so that's about the direction that we're heading. So Lion Venture, we have three directions. We will have a travel startup incubation, which is NextT, which is what Daniel is doing right now. We're trying to provide the environment for talented, passionate individuals to get together and we form a community. I know that the world is going to change, but it's that success or that new trend does not belong to everyone. It belongs only to those individuals with ability and passion, and is willing to take the leap of faith to get around the foreign community. Imagine if you know someone, like for myself, I know someone within the internet bubble. They kind of like just trying to do a startup, and they all become incredibly rich. So I have personally see two paradigm shift. I see the internet paradigm shift. It creates a lot of rich people. I see the mobile internet paradigm shift, which also creates a lot of rich people. And right now we are at another paradigm shift. If you have enough passion and real ability, this could be the best opportunity for the individuals to join the incubation or join an accelerator and seize the opportunity. You can actually, you know, there is a chance that individuals can reach to a really successful startup and become financial independent. All right, so number 2 is travel tech. Basically, we know about travel. We're not gonna say that, hey, we are like something like Sequoia or Edison Howard's. They are the huge VC which will invest in the infrastructures and all that. We don't do that. We do travel because we know about travel. And travel is an industry which contains a lot of money, a lot of deals. Just imagine, even just in Taiwan, there are more than 800 billions of transactions every year. That's 800 billion NT new Taiwanese dollar every year of transaction. And that is just within Taiwan. We're not even talking about a global travel industry. The transactions and money is huge in the travel industry. It's just like people have given up. People think that, oh, Booking.com is very strong, I can never compete with them. No, the world is fastly shifting. So if you're good enough, the premises is that you have to be good enough. If you're not good enough, of course, you're not going to make money. But if you're good enough, you know about technology, you can be tech enabled, you create a service, and if you can get users, you will make money. So that's the travel tech part. And the blockchain and Web3 that we already are trying now. The new project is called the Meta Lion. So what's that word? Meta Lion. Yeah, Meta Lion. It means that we have launched a program called Meta Lion. We're trying now the NFT model. We're trying now the metaverse model a little bit right now. It's all in the early stage. We're already trying that right now. And we will obtain a lot of government resources, of course. Lion has absolute very good relationship with the government. And we will connect with international capitals, which is why I am in LA right now, just to chat with different capitals and to see if they want to invest in travel industry in Taiwan. They can just co-work with us. So basically, that's what we do. But this PPT is really simple. On the left side, there is a lot of customers, travelers. On the right side is all the suppliers, including airplanes, flight company, hotels, and all the attractions. It means the experience provider. So from the supplier to the consumer, there is a lot of work. Okay, this is a huge industry. But as you can see, all these logos means the company we have already invested in. So in the future, there's still a lot of gaps, or still a lot of emptiness here that has to be filled. We will invest in this travel industry chain. So the strategy is industry chain strategy. So it doesn't matter if you're a B2B service, if you're a platform, if you're a channel, if you're a media, or if you're a Web3 application. If you are good enough, if you can show a promised growth in the future, you will get money. The only criteria is you have to be good enough. So that's our criteria, and we already invest. Let's just give a quick example. Asia.io is an OTA, hotel OTA. LionTravel is a luxury OTA, which provides all the luxury, like private jet. I've just seen a private jet company yesterday. I mean, it's totally different world. That world belongs to only like 0.1% of people to take the private jet. And LionTravel is it's a long range taxi, and we have a travel agency franchise. We even invest in 17 Live, but that one, I think the retail EC is not doing really well right now. But we also invest in B2B service like MarkTag and this Riversoft, which is a travel agency ERP. And Derbysoft is a channel manager of the hotels. There's a lot of details here. I'll just skip it, or I'll just spend another half hour talking about these companies. All right, so we do invest in a lot of companies within the industrial chain. I'll just spend 1 minute talking about Taiwan, because right now in Taiwan there's a huge problem. Okay, as you can see, two numbers: 20% of accommodation, the hotel, only 20% is sold online. You will be surprised. 80% of the hotels or B&Bs are ordered not through internet. it's by telephone calls or the other method. That is shocking. All right. So there's a lot of still very lot of rooms for growth. All right. Another thing, the experience when you buy like a ticket, when you buy something from Klook, only 2%, less than 2% of the experience is sold online. All right. You will be surprised. So that means these components and service is still not digitalized. And without digital product, all the foreigners, I'm just talking about Taiwan, all the foreigners cannot see and cannot buy. That is ridiculously undeveloped, but that is the truth. That is the data we have right now. So if you're in Taiwan, I want to sell Taiwan because we born in Taiwan. I love this country. But in Taiwan, the real problem is the digitalization of the whole industry is still really undeveloped. We need something like a digital infrastructure in order to transform this whole travel industry into digital world. I mean, come on. If you if you cannot, if your product or service is not even digitalized, and not a foreigner can see your product or sell your product. Okay, so there's still a lot of jobs to be done, if from the government or from startups, from engineers, from individuals. There's so much work to be done. All right, but the truth is, all the digital service already exist from 5 different areas. I call it the East. It's mean eat, accommodation, experience, shopping, transportation. That's the 5 major element when you travel. Okay, within all those areas, there's already some really good startups offering technology service to enable the industry to go to digitalization. All right, so there is still a lot of rooms to grow. So my last word, sorry, no, this one is talking about RVC. So well, I'll just spend 1 minute on this. So basically, it means how can we help you? How can Lion VC as a venture capital, how can we help you? First, of course, LionTravel is a big company. We have a lot of resources. So remember, we serve about 2 million tourists to travel every year. So basically, yeah, we have a 2 million travelers every year. So if you're a service which help travelers and we can connect you to them, you will get a really fast traffic. All right. Second is professional teams. Of course, I'm a venture capitalist before. So basically, nobody knows what is the way that surely can be success, can lead to success. Nobody knows. But as a venture capitalist, I do know there is some ways that can easily kill a startup, which you can easily fail. So by professional teams, it means that we can probably help you with your strategy, help you with your funding, so you can avoid the ways that leads to a certain death of startup. Okay, that's the professional team. And capital acceleration, of course, we have money, capital, which can accelerate the business model into the growth, into a rapid growth, and into the global market. Because we're in a capitalism world. Without capital, well, even if you have a good idea, you might not be able to push the idea into growth model. Okay, the number 4 is the ecosystem. This also related back to the incubation, NextT incubation we're doing, because we're trying to create the ecosystem which can allow people to join that community, even if you're not like an expert right now. You can still join that community to learn from everyone. Nobody is a genius from the beginning. Everybody is going through a learning process. You might have an idea which is not good enough, but that's okay. Join the ecosystem, learn from others. You will grow really fast. So it's not about that you are already a genius that you can join the ecosystem. No, it's about that you can join that ecosystem and you can learn from everyone and you can grow really fast. So imagine this, you're hitting the US big league, Major League Baseball. If you're really good, you will be in the big major league, right? If you're not that good, you will be down to the AAA league. And if you're really not that good, you'll be in the regional league. So the ecosystem means everyone with different degrees of ability can have their own position. You might survive in the ecosystem, and you may have an opportunity to learn. I think that's why we want to do this travel incubation with Daniel. We want to do this NextT because creating an ecosystem means that we want to contribute to this ecosystem and create an environment for everybody can join and learn from each other. I mean, you could be a mentor that already very experienced. You can join this community and share your experience with others. Trust me, the fastest way to make yourself feel good is to help the others. So we want to help the others too. But at the same time, we're doing business. So if you're not good enough, I'm not going to invest in you. So I'm sorry, I have to mention that in the beginning. All right, so I think my presentation will end here. My last word for this presentation is I believe that Daniel and Lion, we're doing this travel startup incubation with NextT. I think 2022 and 2023 will probably be the best timing for a person that wants to try to start up a new business, because the economy is going to go down. The inflation is bad, but it is within this timing is the best time for investment to happen. And it's also the best time for someone wants to try the startup. And with NextT, it's a community. So if you think about startup, you cannot just gamble everything at one shot. You have to be able to find a way for you to try to learn from fastly make mistakes, low cost mistakes, and learn fast. And I think that's the way that these two are really successful startup. And by this next incubation, I think we will try to create that environment for everyone. So, all right, 20 minutes. I might pass a little bit, but that's my
Thank you.
presentation. All right, thank you, Daniel.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Especially during the time you might be already on the bait. But thank you. It's very insightful and very informative, especially from your presentation. We can see that we want to build up that ecosystem. And for LionTravel, of course, it has money on hand for possible investment in coming time if you are good enough, right? But I would say in our domain, sometimes, or I would say most of the time, the most important elements or resources don't really rely on venture, don't really rely on capital. Okay, if we can prove our business model and really connect with the consumers and grow in the real market, that's more meaningful for long-term growth and sustainability. So yeah, thank you very much. And I also want to stress that NextT Accelerator, of course, it's in a joint venture with LionTravel, but it's an independent company. And our ambition is not only to leverage on Lion's resources only. We are working very hard to start connecting with different VCs, different accelerators, and different stakeholders in different markets. Overseas resources are also the ones we want to refer to and share with those people who participated in this program. Okay, there is a question from Kevin. Do mentors also need to provide short video clip of introduction? My answer is yes, of course. So that we can better understand who you are and how you might be qualified for being a mentor. But of course, if you dare to apply for the mentor category, you must be a strong one. But please just share more information with us, especially this video. That's the most, I would say, critical material that we need from your side. We don't really emphasize the quality of the video, but please make the information delivered there very clear. Okay, we still have some time, so I'm gonna share the other presentation slides with you, talking about some global startup trends. And at the same time, I would appreciate if you could leave some of your questions or some of your words in our chat room so that we can handle that after my last sharing.
Hey, Daniel.
Hey.
Before you present, I would just like to ask everyone, since you're already in that meeting, I would like to ask everyone to give at least one questions on the chat room. So that's my challenge to everyone, since you already spent time here. So just leave one comment or one question in the chat room, please. Thank you. All right,
Okay.
back to you, Daniel.
Yeah, of course. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Ryan. So I just forgot to share this slide with you. It was 2 days ago. We held the offline introduction events for NextT program. There are almost 40 different participants representing different teams and ideas. It was very successful, and it really warmed me up, especially during the time we are still in the bottom hit by COVID-19. We can still feel and grab the kind of atmosphere that many people want to start up business and want to do something different, do something great in travel industry. So please join us. Don't hesitate. This ecosystem will help you out. Okay, about some updates and trends in the market. Well, let me start from 2018. It was the material I captured in Web in Travel, WIT conference organized in Singapore. And all these information were provided by Focusrite, that is the most influential research authority in US. So from this chart, you can see from 2011 to 2015, it was a peak time for startup in travel domain. There are like so many different new players announcing their fundraising good news and meaningful growth news in the world. So RTM was founded in 2014. That was a time just pushed by the energy and all the resources around the world. So in the initial stage, I didn't plan to start up my business, but I was pushed, by all these things happening in, the background. So RTM, start gathering people all together. But reaching 2018 and 2019, we can see the trend is toward founding down and funding up. That means less and less new startup companies would emerge in the market because all those top companies start collecting more capital, more resources from VC, from the market. So when the big gets bigger, the small would face tough time to survive in the market. That's why the numbers are going down, but the capital, the money would go up. And this showcased the reason. 10 out of 1,800 companies around the world constitute 41% of 19 billion raised back in 2018. And you can see these are the logos by the time, so-called top companies, leading companies that robbed the majority of the resources from VC in the APEC area. Most of them are focusing on transportation because it's really needed in the consumers during their journey. And the second followed by accommodation, and then is tickets, some standardized components. Okay, in 2021, we had another update on the market. You can see this is during the COVID-19, during the pandemic. Also in WIT forum, we had this online sharing presented by Focusrite as well. It says that the pandemic could have caused a huge drop in funding, but it could have been worse, which means it's not that bad. during COVID-19. You can see in 2020, of course, the funding to travel startups get down minus 57%, but it's not as bad as what we feel, devastated, 90% loss in the revenue, not that bad. And in 2021, this organization has predicted that the capital start coming back, flowing into travel industry. But of course, most of them are pouring into those leading, top companies, top startups. And so from 2022 onwards, we can feel the sense that, the capital market is still cold, it's still, frozen, but the investors and, some resourceful stakeholders are starting to watch what will be next and when will be the real timing, especially in Asia, that the travel market comes back. 1 in 3 digital startups are focused on accommodation verticals. So you can see hotel, hostel, short-term rental comes at the first and second place, where most of travel startups would choose to do as their topics. And third one is tourist activities like KKday and Klook, because this industry still massively offline, is still not digitalized yet, and comes the air and packaging tour. On the other chart, from the horizontal perspective, we can see that booking, which means it's transactional. You can sell the products and you can have the cash flow from the consumer side, is the most chosen, the most preferred topic, and comes the SaaS and PaaS and content play. So most of startups are transactional in nature, and 1/3 operate in B2B space. So in those top companies dominating markets, new players can still look for some startup spaces in B2B sector, so that they can be of those supporting system, partner system for the big companies. And this is the other chart in 2021, showing that the so-called top companies are shifting a lot of different brand names compared with 2018. But many of them are hospitality and short-term rental focused. So we kind of conclude 3 guidelines to travel startup and investments during the past few years. And these guidelines are still viable for now. The first is the user reach diversified. We reach our customers and end users with various channels, creative tools, so that you don't have to be competing with the traditional channel, especially those top companies and big OTAs. And the second guideline is to do operations unbundled. So like travel agency prefers to integrate its supply chain to make it like, from the supply, from the marketing, sales, from the channel to the end users, all gathered in one company. But if we can do one specific function or services and make it strong, that's very likely to be invested and to stand out in the market. And the third one is user experience is fully rebuilt. So we can use a different statement and different way to package the product and convince consumers, so that they feel, even though they buy the same product, they go on the same trip to the same destinations, but with a different curation, with different marketing ideas, they feel like this is totally different. So this is called user experience is fully rebuilt. Now comes to 2022 April. In the conference, this lady coming from Google, that's handling its vertical search in travel segment, comes to the stage and shares some inspiring news with us. The first one is, this is a growth chart for Scoot Airlines. So you can see the yellow area and gray area. Gray means 2021 April, and yellow means 2022, April, it has a huge difference. So there is a slogan here. Full recovery, it's a matter of when, not if, because the industry, especially those accommodation, those airplane, start making money, start seeing their revenue coming back. The other charts, some numbers showcasing that the search for vacation rentals, search for luxury resorts increase like crazily 1,000 and 2,000%. So what? Tailor brand messaging and offerings to new traveler preferences. And also during the COVID-19, because zero contact economy, digital is more embedded than ever across the traveler journey. So Google provided three takeaways. The first one is to capture all aspiring intent, especially on digital. Okay, so this is a good timing, to provide a digital or digitalize the tool to either consumers or the industry to help them out and minimize travel frictions to unlock further demand, especially in Asia. We still feel locked because all those custom policy, inbound and outbound inconvenience. But this is a good timing. Well, maybe like starting from the private sector that we make travel easier, compared with the 2 years, past 2 years. And the third one is to embrace new traveler preference to build loyalty. So in conclusion, I want to share with everybody that's still passionate about travel, passionate about, business in this industry. This is the right moment to win the hearts and minds of travelers and build up new loyalties. This is a good timing for all of us to restart, to reignite, our enthusiasm for coming opportunities. For Taiwan, I think some of our participants from this country are like well familiar with our performances of the past 2.5 years, because the well-protected, well-controlled pandemic, basically economic-wise, Taiwan wasn't really hit that hard. And on the contrary, because of manufacturing and overseas trading, we got some good numbers on GDP. But behind these exciting good numbers on GDP, travel and tourism, were still indeed impacted. So from the revenue table, we could see how industry dramatically dropped when comparing with 2019, especially during May and September last year when pandemic had a breakout. For the time being, business of those who rely on domestic market has been pulling back to maybe like 70 and 80%. But of those who rely on international tourists, they are still suffering from great loss and reshaping their business model. So let's pick up a month and take a micro look at the revenue of listed companies. For travel agency, unfortunately, numbers don't look good because main players used to do outbound travel as a main business, while there are too little profits for domestic products. So they are turning to new profit line, such as restaurants, gymnasium, selling different product line online, etc. And hotels are relatively less painful, getting 70% business back. So what's worth of giving attention are number one, quarantine hotels that make a lot of money. Number two, staycation hotels located in countryside tourist destinations that become the most welcome places. For the catering sector, it's kind of like a same logic with staycation and quarantine travelers. For transportation sector, is more interesting. Taiwan's leading airlines, China Airlines, almost fully recovered from pandemic thanks to cargo business. There's a talk of the town about, other listed company, Eva Marine, shared their like 40 months thanks to rising freight price. In addition, car rental and taxi service embraced a rising demand, especially during the pandemic breakout. And the most highlighted trend is that luxury vacation for yacht, leisure ships meet their super growing opportunity when rich people have no way to spend money overseas. So rich people always spend money. They always are rich. Okay, so it's just how you direct their money to. So overall, hospitality and tourism companies have been fighting for survival and 80% recovery right now. This is interesting. Control pandemic, push domestic markets, and share the best interests with those suppliers in destination. So taking this 小琉球, Ryukyu Island in southern Taiwan as example, with only 6.8 square kilometers and 12,000 population, its B&B and hotels grow to over 400, welcoming over 1 million tourists every year at 10 to 15% growth rate, causing severe over-tourism problems. So opportunities and challenges are always together. Taiwan needs a good management framework over these over-tourism destinations, so to keep industry lively but under sustainable developing pattern. That's why in our criteria, this batch, we focus on social mission. We focus on sustainability. So this is the event we hosted, the online seminar, highlighting some of Taiwan's travel tech companies like Razio. The PMS for local experience helped KKday Group to successfully raise the C round at 7.5 million. And FunNow, the booking platform for in-city vacation and day use hotels, raised 1.5 million. Asia Yo recently invested by LionTravel by $7 million US, has highly surpassed its 2019 revenue thanks to domestic staycation market and quarantine hotels, while Tripresso opens its new brand, Commit, for B2B technology and incentive tour services. Besides, food delivery, data analysis, blockchain, metaverse are all having great amount of new players that are evolving in travel and lifestyle domains. So I would say pandemic gives Taiwan market a great timing and a chance to integrate online, offline, tech, and culture business all together. So this chart describes the post-COVID market trend. Consumer would choose to either stay home, enjoying improved online and delivered services, or overcome the pandemic fear to go out but spend more on staycation and in-depth cultural experiences. So this chart is also the innovation model, I would say, for Taiwan travel industry to building up with joint efforts from other industries. All right, quickly share the whole trends and market updates and my observation toward this industry. I would say it should not be Taiwan only, but the whole world. We can, with the joint efforts, we can turn this moment in history, impacted by COVID-19 into the opportunity to make ourselves stronger. If the recovery time is 2023 or 2024, that means we still have some time, 1 to 2 years, to become a different person, to become a different company. So to embrace greater opportunities, more resources, and all, the business possibilities in the coming future. Okay, this is my the end of my presentation. Sorry for delaying some of our time. And I already noticed there are some questions coming out in the chat room. So maybe like Ryan, we can use a few minutes to answer these questions and just close our presentation, our event today. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course, of course.
So, okay, the first one from Henry, just wondering, what if we are not around Taipei? Is there any online solution or community? I mean, for the future activities. Okay, so let me answer this question. We are welcoming travel startups or any individuals who are intended to join the accelerator from overseas. Okay, well, the only thing is that you might not be able to join our offline events, especially during September and October, but that would be fine. We will arrange the online sharing and online seminars, for you guys to connect with both the other startup entrepreneurs and the key person in accelerating program, some consultants and the people from LionTravel.
I'll give a feedback.
Yeah, sure.
So
Go
if
ahead.
you're like, for example, if you're in LA and you want to join this, it's perfectly okay, because I'll give it an example. I want to cooperate with the other accelerators in different countries. Like Daniel knows a lot about accelerator in Japan too. I want to create like the mutual exchange program. So even if you're a United States company or a Japan company, since we can build a connection with different accelerators, we can form in like a cooperation mode. So we can arrange for the startup to visit each other. So maybe you can spend a few weeks in Taiwan, and the teams in Taiwan can spend a few weeks in the United States. Same thing works here. So let's stay in connect, stay in conversation online, and then I think there's a lot of opportunities can happen. But the first thing is we have to stay in connection. All right.
Okay. But also, of course, for Henry, if you are based in Tainan, it would be a lot easier, for you to come to Taipei to join these activities, for sure. So yeah, not only in Taipei, you are around Taiwan, you are in other regions, other countries, other markets are all welcome. So far, we've received application from Japan, and it's a global scaled accelerator. So we're not limiting anyone from anywhere. Okay, is there any question from our participants today? You may just directly turn on microphone. CY?
Yes, Daniel, thank you for very good presentation. And Ryan, of course. I do have one question for Ryan. In your VC investment, what returns or what criteria that you look for particularly? Do you look for ROI more than, let's say, 10%, or are you looking for a payback within 5 years? So other than the financial criteria, what other criteria
Well,
you look for? That's my question.
Ryan, you should turn on your microphone.
all right. So
Please.
there are two major factors. First, you gotta have a really good insight and business model to cut into the market. So the model have to fit, like for example, to fit the paradigm shift, you gotta have a awesome technology and a good insight in order to generate a future growth. So first, you gotta have a insight and a really good business model that we can understand. There are some business model which is really good, but it's too complicated that I cannot understand. So that would not be in our option too. So that's the first. And the second thing is, it is just practically a really sad truth is that right now we are at the capital winter. So basically, all the startups might need to have the ability to reach break-even point even sooner than they expected. So you have to be able to run this business model to support yourself. So basically, you cannot expect that you have a model that you can just burn the capital from the VCs. That model doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
So within these 2 years, the model itself has to generate decent cash flow to support itself. In other way, if you have an investment, you have to be able to run by yourself at least for 24 months. So I think two factors will affect our investment decision pretty good.
That means many new startups, especially from young professionals, need to look for 3F or angels first before getting to you.
Yeah, of course. Or you can just, it's not about going to the VC at the day one. And that doesn't make sense at all. You have to be able to gain the ability in order to reach that degrees of business model maturity. Maturity. I'm sorry. So basically, the incubation itself is an environment for everybody to join and learn from each other. But I can only guarantee one thing: is that if you're really that good enough, if you can join the major league, and if we think you can join the major league, then of course we will invest. So, but the environment is open for everyone. It's not about that you have to be really good to join NextT. No, it's only about that if you have the passion, if you have the motivation that you want to join this community and grow fast. And believe me, the key thing about growth, it's not about you grow by yourself. It's about you have to find the right companion, right partners, right friends to mutually support, and you can grow really fast. And also there's and another thing which is really important, you have to find a way to make mistakes with low cost. So then that can only happen if you have an environment like the incubation. If you do that by yourself out there, you make one mistakes, you will die horribly.
Agree.
Yeah, so just trying to utilize this environment. That's my suggestion. But I can guarantee that if a business model is really that good and we agree with that, you will probably receive investment really soon. That's my idea.
Good. That's the reason I encourage my students to go to attend Daniel's workshops in September 1st before even talk about money.
Yeah, of course. I agree.
Okay, thank you for very good answers.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there any question? So I guess yeah, it's pretty good, and thank you very much for joining us. I already see that the potential startup and entrepreneurship coming out from all these two announcing events on Tuesday and today. So stay in touch, and I do hope to see you not only in the list of applicants for Accelerator, but for those 6 events that are following. Thank you very much. So Ryan, thank you too. Have a good night. And for others, have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.